Vortex. I just got out of church, and in case you missed the last video, I was talking a lot about mental illness and how I think that it's a gift that is extremely misunderstood by not only those that have it, but those that have to deal with it in any kind of way. And I just find it interesting that I brought up this topic before I went to church, and then during the homily, my priest brought up John chapter 9, where Jesus heals the blind man. And his disciples are asking him if this man was a sinner, if his parents were sinners, and that's why he was blind. And he tells them that this dude was blind so that the works of God would be displayed in him. And I've noticed that there are a lot of people that have struggled with quite a bit. And whether they realize it or not, that it's God that has enabled them to endure, and it's God that has enabled them to get through whatever they had to get through. Now, I do believe that if you're of God, that will speak for itself. Just because of, the works that you do. Because, that there are plenty of people that, say that they're of God, but I'd love for them to show me the example of that. But, because I've seen, better examples in, secular people who are just naturally good, and they are just of the impression that, they don't need God to have that. I think it's possible. I think it's possible to be a stronger person. But that possibility is very, very small, okay? But I'm always crying during the homilies. I'm always crying during the Holy Eucharist. I'm always crying, watching other people get Holy Communion. Because it's just such a moving experience. And I've just been thinking a lot about our pre-communion prayer, how, we do not repeat thy mystery to thine enemies. If somebody has questions about the Holy Eucharist, that's fine, you can explain it. But do not, under any circumstance, talk about the mysteries of God, the mysteries of Holy Trinity. Do not talk about these things with people that are openly and unabashedly pagan, secular, whatever the fuck. Just don't do it. Because you're further condemning them, essentially. Well, it's not you, but, sorry, I had too much coffee. But, just this little cup, too. Just this little cup. I think that I, need to cut back on my coffee intake. Mainly because I need to eat. I have a really bad problem with eating. I'm just not doing it because I'm not motivated to eat. I don't think that people realize that they don't have to eat, I was thinking about the number of people that I've spoken to who said that they grew up poor, therefore they went to bed hungry pretty much every night. I'm like, don't you wish that all Americans had that problem? Because it's just ridiculous the amount of food that people are allowed to consume, Freedom, right? Anyway, I bitch about freedom a lot. Because I don't think people deserve freedom. You're born free. Like, you're literally born free. Like, nobody gives that to you. And the more aware you are of your spirit, the freer you are. Because you're not concerned about this world. You're not concerned about how you look. You're not concerned about how you sound to people that, you know, believe the lies that they're told by the media or by their politicians or by their educators. You know, they just kind of glide through life. And I was thinking about that, like how hard my life has been because of what I've had to deal with in relation to my schizophrenia. But it's actually been like such a blessing as well because of the fact that just being different and having so much more on my plate than your average motherfucker, it's like, it really is a gift because, sorry, I'm looking for a house. I'm meeting with some friends. We're meeting at this person's house, and I forgot where she lives. It's like right off the street, though. I just don't want to pass it. But it's right there. Yeah, it's like people have no idea like the power that they possess within themselves because like perspective is everything, you know? And like with schizophrenia, this, I'll just use myself as the finest example. Just looking at it like it's a gift and trusting the process of that. If I looked at it like it was a disease and there was something horribly wrong with me and I'm a sinner, I have demons, all that, I mean, I think a part of it is demonic because of that power that we possess. You know, the devil's like, well, I'm gonna fuck with that and it's gonna be super easy because we have like that higher frequency, so we're an immediate threat. Because remember that the devil is the prince of this world, so all the lies that you receive from those said people that I just mentioned that aren't people, more than likely, they're powers, they're forces, okay, entities, whatever. They're going to try to control your idea of reality. They're going to try to control like who you think you are, and like your soul and the concepts that you have of everything. And you know, if you don't look at it like, okay, these things that I'm dealing with that are really difficult, if you just take that with grace, if you take that and go, you know what, maybe there's a purpose for this, maybe I'm supposed to have this, maybe I'm supposed to feel this way, maybe I'm supposed to be sad, or, you know, whatever you're experiencing. If you look at it like there's a purpose, I promise you will discover that purpose, okay? And you won't be a victim of whatever it is anymore, and you won't feel belittled, and you won't feel like crippled. Crippled's a better word for it. Because a lot of people, they look at mental illness like it's a disability. And I realize that in certain regards it is, but it doesn't have to be, okay? What doesn't disable you will be your superpower. And they do not want you to know that, okay? Like all these people on medication, if they had any idea that they could just stop being a pansy, and I realize that like I kind of lose people with that one, but you know, that is how I feel, mainly because I cry every 7.5 minutes. So I I think that people whine about a lot, but I understand that it's really difficult to deal with mental illness, especially if you're living in Western civilization. If you were in Africa, if you were in India, if you were like literally in any other place but Western civilization, it'd be totally fine that you're mentally ill and you'd fare very well. But because you live in Western civilization and they can make money off of you and they can control you, I think that the biggest threat involving mentally ill people is the fact that we are less likely to fall into the traps that are set out by society. And yeah, it's easy for schizos to, you know, get caught up in like the satanic element of things, you know. I know that I have, and I probably, you know, sound so fucking Looney Tune every single time that I talk about Satan. Because, you know, if you talk about God, it's okay, but you cannot talk about Satan. And what does that tell you right there? The fact that people accept God, but they can't accept his adversary, that just kind of shows you that people are very, very ignorant about reality, about the world that they live in. My priest wife is like looking at me so crazy. I don't think that she knew what I was doing. She just sees me like talking to myself and like, well, I do that with or without the camcorder. But yeah, I mean, like, I just talk to myself all the time, right? I talk to myself, I cry, I rock back and forth, I dress weird. I used to masturbate in public places, but we don't do that anymore because that shit's wrong. Okay? But there's a lot of stuff. Satan loves secrets, okay? So me, like, revealing my truth to you, my secrets, me revealing these things, that's the last thing that he wants. That's why it's such a threat that I do stand-up. Because I'll have flaming homosexuals flagging me down at LGBT coffee shops, asking me how they can be straight, okay? That's what he's afraid of. But anyway, I just find it interesting that that was the passage that my priest read during the homily. Homily? I don't know. Well, when you say, like, the word homage, like, you pronounce it homage, right? Not homage. It's confusing, okay? It's very, very confusing. The English language? Fuck it, right? Anyway, I'm where I need to be, so I'm gonna go. But I just wanted to enlighten you with that. You should read John chapter 9. Just read the whole Bible. Just read that. Read the Psalms, then read the New Testament.